Hello everyone, this is H.M.O.C. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. And to my old and new subscribers, welcome and welcome back. Let's get into the video. Hello everyone and Happy New Year. Happy 2021. So I am going to do a 100% coconut soap today. I have wanted to do this for a while and I've just now getting around to it. And when I say a while, I mean a couple of years now. So I decided that I have the time now, so I'm going to do it. So the last week of the year and the first week of the following year is usually downtime for us. So what I would do is go through the previous year's soap line, decide what didn't sell well, am I going to remake it, what I'm going to be making for the coming year. I've done all my wholesale orders, and then these last 2 weeks I am just focusing on my product that we want for, say, farmers markets and vendor events and things we're going to do ourselves, because wholesale is getting out of the way and I'm concentrating on us now. So I decided, because last year was so shall I say poor for sales, we did okay, but we didn't do great. So I'm gonna keep everything that we did last year to bring it over to this year as far as remakes, and I'm not gonna scrap anything because last year wasn't really a true gauge of how good a scent was or how bad a scent was or anything like that. So yeah, we're gonna keep everything. So making this coconut soap, back to that, I'm going to heat my coconut up, and then I'm going to do my lye, and then I'm going to bring it down to temp. I usually do cold processed soap. I soap around 100 degrees. This I'm actually going to soap a little bit higher, but just because I don't really want to wait. I'm in the office today and it's like I haven't been here for a while and I just want to get what I need to get done and go. So I'm just pouring my lye into my water. You always want to pour your lye into your water and never vice versa. I always hit the cup like that because I want to get every single thing out. Every little granule counts to your lye count. So I want to get everything out. You want to do this in a well-ventilated area because it will send up fumes. No matter how careful you are pouring that lye into the water, the reaction will send up fumes. Now, you're going to stir it until you feel like it's dissolved. You don't have to get it completely dissolved. The heat will actually work with you. And you want to do this and leave it until it becomes clear. And then you know your lye has been dissolved. I'm checking the heat here. I know it's high, but I'm not really concerned about it because I'm going to sit it to the side and let it cool down. So while that's doing that, see how it's now clear? You can see through it now. So my lye is ready to go. If I wanted to incorporate it into the oil at this point, it's already dissolved in the water and it's ready to go. So I've got my coconut oil, my 100% coconut oil, and I'm just checking the temp on that. So I'm going to let these cool down to within 10 degrees of each other. That's how I soap. If my oil is 100 degrees, my lye water will not be any more than 110 or any less than 90, which it never is. It's always a little bit higher than the oil 99% of the time. So I'm going to wait till that happens, and then I'm going to pour it in. As you can see, I'm doing here. Now I'm pouring it over my silicone spatula just so it doesn't splash. It's not really necessary. Sometimes I use a strainer. There's no silk or anything in here that I'm worried about not being totally dissolved, so I don't use a strainer. So I'm just mixing it in just so when I put my stick blender in, it doesn't throw up any pure lye water into the air and possibly splash on me. Even though I have my gloves on and everything else, I want to just make sure, just start the process and get it somewhat incorporated before I put my stick blender in. I've added my essential oil blend, making sure I get every drop of that goodness into my soap. And then I'm going to get my stick blender and we're going to start blending this up. Now, Your stick blender, I mean, you could probably do this by hand. I would think this came together quite well, quite fast, I should say. And I did burp my stick blender, which is basically just knocking the air that you catch by immersing your stick blender into your oils and your lye water. Now, I'm usually doing bigger batches, so you will see that sometimes it kind of splashes really a lot up, like along the side of the bowl, but otherwise than that, it was okay. I didn't notice anything unusual about making 100% coconut soap at this point, but you never know. It didn't really change the color or anything like that. It has gone a little yellow, but I'm figuring that's from the essential oil blend. And this one is blended in Rainforest. Is that what we call it? It's a actual blend that we make. And here I am just checking for trace. It is at a very light trace, and it's kind of moving faster than I thought it would. But I'm not going to do any swirls. I'm just going to do an all pure white, or in this case it might be yellow because it's a little off, a little tan soap. And I'm just going to put it into my silicone mold and be done with it. I don't want to do any fancy swirls or anything like that. It's going to be a nice simple soap to wet my feet with for the 2021 year. And this is the first soap I'm making this year. So all I'm going to do is pour it into my silicone molds. And somebody did say it heats up, so I'm not going to insulate it. I might just leave it on my work surface here, my work table, and because this is the only soap I'm going to be making today. And I might just leave it there and see if it heats up, number one, and because I don't need to move it. So I think I will just leave it right here on my work surface. So I'm just pouring in the rest of the soap, and you can see it thickened up quite fast, quite quickly. So if you're going to make this, I would say be ready to pour it into your mold. Have your mold ready, have everything ready before you start, because this did thicken up on me pretty quickly. So I'm just putting in my last one. I do love this scent. It's like a nice earthy scent. If you like sort of like patchouli and musk and that sort of thing, this is the scent for you. It's called Rainforest. It's like someone just picked up a clump of earth and it smells so fresh, almost like a spa scent. That's what it smells like. So it's a nice refreshing scent. So this one I'm just gonna probably test for a couple of months before I even think about remaking it to sell it. These are not going to be for sale. These are going to be for testing, because I want to see how it performs before I decide to add it in the line. So if you see this in probably maybe 2 or 3 months, you know we've tested it and we've not just made a soap and put it out there to sell. We want to know that the products we're putting on the market are a really good product. So I'm just going to temp this down just to make sure I get out all the air bubbles or any air bubbles that might be in, and then just flatten out the tops. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to check the temp, because I'm just interested in seeing what the temperature is like when the soap is finished, and then when the soap is actually overnight. Maybe I'll do it before I leave as well. So I'm going to do it. This is about, I would say, 15-20 minutes after I did it, after I made it. And this is probably about 3 or 4 hours later. As you can see, the temp has continued to go down, and I don't see it heating up. I don't know if that is because my essential oil that I put in there, or the fact that I didn't insulate it and just left it on my worktop. Now, my soaping studio is on the cold side because I'm not here all the days, so I don't turn on the heat. So maybe that's one. And then the next day. So I'm just going to put on my gloves. Always use protective gear, no matter what. Use your protective gear. And I could have probably taken this out a little sooner. I did check it as soon as I came in this morning, but I didn't take it out until now. It's probably been about 18-20 hours or so. And I will say, I am amazed that the color came back to white, because it was a little yellow yesterday because of the essential oil. And then how easily it's coming out of these molds, and how hard it is already. It is hard, because I've used these molds before, and they have kind of, shall I say, a softness to the soap when they come out. Might have been just the recipe I was using, but these are already hard. I can say this is going to be a hard bar. So those are my 6 soaps of 100% coconut oil. So 100% coconut oil soap. Smells great. Will not be for sale in this batch. Maybe the next one, if the test goes good, I will have them up on my Etsy shop for sale. Okay, so I have one question about my videos for you. Do you prefer that I talk through the videos, explaining exactly what's going on, what I'm doing, explain the project that I'm working on as I go along? Or do you prefer that I just make the soap, maybe put a few comments here and there, or subtitles here and there, and just let you watch while there's music playing in the background? So do you prefer voice or no voice? Put it in the comments, voice or no voice. So this is my soaping scale, and it has seen better days, but it's been a trooper. It's been working great up until today. So I thought it was this the buttons, because I usually use it with this plastic covering on it, and I thought the buttons might have been going, but I put batteries in it and I used it with the plastic covering, and they work fine. Now I tried the cord in other things and it works fine. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with my soap scale right now, but it is my lifesaver. I don't know what I would do without this scale. I do have a backup, but it's not as good, it's not as sturdy, and I like this one. So if you've come across the problem and you know of a fix, jot it down in the comments for me. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day.